welcome to this short video as part of the Tungsten University Class of 2020 training program. My name is Chris Parker, Customer Success Director for EMEA and APAC, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about how to get the best from Continuent support, where to find the various software packages to download, and generally customer service in general, and how to make the most of your subscription and your license to our products. So before I continue, I'm just going to switch my screen and run through some slides for you. Okay, so let's look at our agenda. What are we going to talk about? Well, it's going to be it's quite a short session. We're just going to cover where to download the software for your release, how to find the documentation. We're going to talk about Zendesk, SLAs, gathering diagnostics for support cases, our EOL schedule, and just in general customer success, check-in calls, etc. So downloading software. Well, you can download the packages that you are licensed to download from continuent.com/downloads. You should have a login. If you don't, or if you need your password reset, then please do reach out to us and let us know so that you've got access to the software that your business is licensed for. If you are a clustering user, you will also be able to download the dashboard packages from there, as well as that is free for clustering users. Dashboard doesn't yet support standalone replicator, but when it does, that will also be available for you at that point then. Documentation. We have extensive documentation online at docs.continuent.com. It's always good to bookmark the docs, and if you need any information, there's lots there. There's lots of examples, lots of worked examples with various different scenarios, lots of information on all the various different properties, for example, how configuring connectors and things like that. It's all information, it's all there in the docs. What I do recommend though is that you make sure that you are referring to the correct version of the documentation that matches the version of the software you're using. Obviously, the docs will have some very specific information regarding features that may not necessarily be in the same release that you're using. So always just double check that the versions align. Also, when you are downloading software that we talked about previously, it's always good to make a note and read through the release notes for that release to make sure there are no new prerequisites that are being introduced, and also if you want a review of the bugs that have been fixed and any new features that have been implemented. It's all there in the release notes. We also have our online blogs on continuent.com as well. A lot of information there. We always announce our releases there, release notes are linked there, and you can read from the Continuent team on anything that we choose to blog about. Lots of white papers, online webinars, all available, so just go check it out. There's quite a lot of resources available through our website. Zendesk, so quite an important part here. If you're a customer, obviously you'll be used to using Zendesk now if you need to raise a support case. It's really key when you raise a support case that you provide as much information as possible. The more information you're able to give us in that first the first post to your ticket, the greater the chances of us being able to resolve it in a shorter space of time. If we have to keep going backwards and forwards of asking you for more logs and asking you questions, it just delays that process. So the more you can give us straight away, the better it is for everybody. We have a number of different levels: urgent, high, normal, and low. We do ask that you only use urgent when it generally is a production outage issue. This means that you'll get the fastest response. PagerDuty alerts go to the engineers on call, and it means that we can maintain our excellent response rates of 5 minutes or less. If the priorities are misused, then that can impact the level of support we're able to offer to other customers who may have genuine urgent cases. It enables us to prioritize things. So we really do want to maintain this response rate, and we can only do that if the priorities are used appropriately and correctly. We do publish our SLAs. They are online on our website where you can view them, summarized here as well for you if you wish to be reminded of what they are. Talking of our average response rates, this is our average response rates from the last year, or actually back to the beginning of 2019. As you can see, this red line here is the average response rate that quarter for urgent cases. And I think you'd all agree that a 2.4 minute average response rate for urgent cases Q1 2020, that's pretty impressive, and it's pretty hard to beat that with a lot of other third-party vendors out there. And we are really proud of that, and we want to make sure we can maintain that. So it just goes back to what I was saying on the previous slide, ensuring you provide as much information as possible when you raise the case, and make sure you use the priority levels accordingly. So I talk about gathering diagnostics. So we have a tool called TPMDiag that will do that for you. Depending upon whether you are in staging installation or an I&I installation, will determine what the Diag actually collects. If you're staging, the Diag will attempt to collect the diagnostics from all of the nodes in your topology. With an I&I installation, you may need to run TPMDiag individually on each node. And the output from that will let you know what we've collected and what we haven't collected. In general, what it will do is gather all of the log files for all of the components on the host. It will also gather status outputs, a configuration summary so we can see what properties have been installed, OS metrics if it can access them. So there's lots of information there, and it will all help when we're trying to piece together what actually happened and get that resolution for you. If your hosts are connected to the outside world, we also have Tungsten Diag, which can be very useful. Tungsten Diag actually initiates TPMDiag for you, and what it will do is it will automatically bundle up the diagnostics and upload it to the Continuent S3 bucket. And from there, we can directly access those diagnostics much quicker, and it will save you having to potentially FTP files from your host to your local machine, attaching them to the case, etc. End-of-life schedules. These are explained on our website at the links here. We explain our policy and how it applies, what it means when a product is end of life. It doesn't mean that we're going to completely refuse support. We will always help as best as we can. Primarily, it means that there will be no bug fixing, no patching. So if you are on a product that is deemed end of life and you hit a bug, the only option would be to upgrade. So naturally, it's in your interests to upgrade sooner rather than later, so that you're not forced into an upgrade route if you're on an end of life release. In terms of our release schedule, we have no fixed schedule for our major releases, so our V6, V7, etc. At the time of recording, we're currently on V6, and we are hoping to have V7 released by the end of 2020. We will always aim to have a minor, or what we call a feature release, every 12 months. So that would be 6.1, 6.2, etc. If we release V7 at the end of this year, then within 12 months following that, we'll have at least a 7.1 release. And we try and ensure that we will release a bug fix release every quarter. So that's a 6.11, 6.12, etc. At the time of recording, we've just released 6.1.4. Our end-of-life policy also outlines how we determine the end-of-life date for a product. In summary here, each minor release level, so the 6.1s, the 6.2s, etc., they are given a 12-month end-of-life notice period from the release of the subsequent minor release. So for example, if on the 1st of August 2020, we released a 6.2, then 6.1 and all of the 6.1 patch releases, so 6.11 through to 6.14, whatever, their end of life will be set 12 months from that date. So their end of life will be the 1st of August 2021, and that will follow. Customer success, who are we? What do we do? Well, we're here to help you, support you. We are also part of the support team. So when you raise support cases, we'll be the people that you speak to. You're obviously, many of you will know me from helping you with support cases. You'll also know Matt as well from support cases, and Eric. So and Sarah sometimes as well. So there's a few of us that help out on cases. Part of the customer success team. So what do we do? Well, we like to talk to you as well, not just when things go wrong and you raise a support case. We will reach out to you periodically, generally around every quarter, just for a check-in call. And those check-in calls are really useful, both for you and for us. It gives you an opportunity to speak to us and to hear from us about things that we're doing, things that are coming up, our roadmap. And it also gives us an opportunity to find out from you if there are any issues that you are struggling to resolve, if you have any future plans that maybe we can help you with. All of these things, it's just a really good opportunity for us to come together and to strengthen the relationship that we have. At the end of this year, we're hoping to also start our customer advisory boards. And basically what that will involve is 1 or 2 representatives from each customer. You'll all be invited to join a single call together, where you can talk openly with us and amongst us as a group. We can share ideas. We can talk to you about the things that we're working on and what we hope to achieve in the next 3, 6, 12 months. But it's also an opportunity to hear from you and things that you'd like to see. So is there a new feature that you think would really make your lives easier? If so, bring it to the CAB, explain it to us. We can put it on our roadmap. We can talk to engineering, and we can assess the feasibility of introducing that into the product, and we can make the product better to suit you. So in summary, we've talked about where to find the software, how to obtain it, where the documentation is, login support cases, diagnostics, the EOL and release schedule, customer success, and the CAB meetings. So I hope you found this useful. As I say, it was a short video just to introduce those elements for you before you now progress onto the more product-specific masterclass training, whether that's the Tungsten cluster training or the Tungsten replicator training. If you're hoping and planning on following both of the tracks, then it will make more logical sense for you to start with clustering. There is some overlap in some of the sessions between the two. So if you do the clustering first, and then it will allow you to pick and choose which bits of replicator are more appropriate for you if you're doing both tracks together. Please do make use of the weekly calls that will be available as part of the masterclass program. They're there for you to ask questions about the training, and we can fill in any gaps that maybe things weren't very clear for you and you would like us to recap, and we can do all of that on those weekly calls. So make the most of that as well. I hope you found this useful, and I look forward to speaking to you on those future training sessions that we have coming up for the masterclass for 2020. Thank you and goodbye.